All right, should be live. Let me see. Got to catch this volume over here when it pops on. Right. That one right there, or else we're going to have a loop. So, what is going on? Hope everybody's had a good week. Got Bob's in here. How you doing? So, I figured I'd make it an easy one. Haven't done any rig rundowns, and I don't know that I've got any of them that I've ever actually done. But I figure this would be a great one to start with because it's a heck of a good machine. Though, even though I haven't ran it much yet, it's still a kick-ass RC. So, as the title says, H10 Origin from Vanquish Products. I should probably edit that in a bit and turn it back to turn it over to Vanquish Products. But yeah, these are custom order to a point. They put them out. They're going to be running a limited amount of them, although they're into the older 400s and nearing 500 units sold. So they'll be doing some of the quite a few of them actually, but overall not bad. All custom CNC'd. No, custom CNC'd. It's all CNC'd out of a machine block. So each piece of the rig has a machine in it. Let me go ahead and stop this thing for a second. We'll get her shut off so she's not spinning here. So let me pop this pin out. I'll take this door off over here. Pins go in from the bottom, but almost everybody runs it from the top. So the door, and I'll flip over to this other camera. So we got a top-down view. Come here, come here, come here. Should be pretty well lit up. Grab some light just because adds a little extra on the other side. So, for instance, these pieces obviously are kind of small. I got the greatest light right there. Everything kind of blocked, even though I got a heck of light here. Let me get a little bit better. That's a little better. So these are machined, obviously, but the door panel itself, as you can see how thick it is, it was one piece of aluminum machined out completely to fit, and everything is made to fit smoothly down the seams. It's all been, each hood and the fenders and the front grille, the rear panels, the doors, each piece of the cage. You got the top X, two sides. Then the back support here, the back piece, which gives you your ID number in it. Hard to see, it's washed out quite a bit there, but it's number 190 if it comes up. If I can get a cleaner look of it, it's hard to see. But at any point, yeah, they're numbered. You actually get a title, certificate of title with it, per se, but it's an official piece released by Vanquish. And you can transfer it. So if I sell this, I can transfer that title to the new owner, which is pretty cool. Unique, nothing too great, but it kind of goes with the scale side of it, throws it all in there. So yeah, besides the top, which is a piece of made carbon fiber for it, so each piece, cage part was machined out of one solid chunk of aluminum, and specific to fit. And then you got to choose colors on the initial order. So I chose orange body panels and orange wheels with clear cage and clear axles. Pretty standard fare. Haven't done a lot of stickers or anything like that to it. I did add the license plate, as you've seen in the back there. Let me go ahead and take this side out. Actually, I'll take both doors off again. A little bit tighter than that one. Ooh, break it now. And then, of course, it's a kit, so you have to assemble it, add all your own electronics, wheels, all that kind of stuff. Oh, that's right. I got the plastic one on that side, so it holds tighter. Panels up out of the way. I should be able to, I think, get her to sit on her side for the most part. Maybe not. A little too much there, but I was hoping to kind of get her propped up. But no, she ain't going to prop up. At least not like that. Let me try it like this. Nope, not going to prop up that way either. So I have to kind of hold her here a little bit. But there you get a little bit better look of the rig on the side. So I fitted out an interior. I took some diamond plate scale. I think the black it's real thin. I think it's from Ya Racing. So I kind of cut it to shape, made some cardboard templates around the cage area, cut it to shape, and then kind of worked it into place and folded it around the support beam. A little bit there and got it pushed into place. Did one on both sides, so it's kind of help protect the inside, keep the dirt out a little bit per se. And it does have a floor pan. I actually built the floor pan in it. You can see the diamond plate here. On that side, there's nothing on this side. I probably should at some point clean her up and put a floor pan in there, just for the same reason. On this side, just to help block some stuff out of it. Keep it a little bit cleaner, help keep the rocks out, because that's where the receiver sets up here. Actually, the receiver sets tucked up front up in here on this side behind this mud panel. Added a seat, did some interior work. Can't really see it now, and it's not working the great. I got to do a little bit of tweaking to it, but I got the couple shifters in here, and then the one shifter when I shift the dig system. I've added dig to this transmission, the VFD dig. So when I shift it, my outside lever here actually moves. It doesn't move a lot right now. I'm going to make some tweaks and actually do a little bit of levers in there and make it so it moves a little bit more and a little bit more scale. Like right now, it's just kind of up and down and it kind of bounces a little bit. But it does move when I shift the dig into place. So there's that. I did set a steering wheel set up in here, so the steering wheel moves, which, add to that scale realism in there. And then I chose Rowdy Roddy Piper from They Live. John Nada, I think is the character's name, as my driver. For build, it's a pretty straightforward build. If you built an H10 optic, this is essentially the same. Almost everything except for the cage and the panels itself would transfer over to an optic. Like if I took my H10 optic cage and took this all apart, I could actually bolt my H10 optic cage up. Things would be just slightly different, but the way the panel's set up, it's all different there. So that's not the same. There's nothing interchangeable there when it comes to the cage and the body panels, except for the hood, the roof plate. That's the one thing on your fins. But your roof plate's the one thing that would transfer over to an Origin or to an optic as opposed to the Origin here. But yeah, so added some tanks, NOS tanks, DSM rear bed area with his tank, put the orange lid in there. Obviously, kind of matched it up with the orange. Added the orange cap on the back, got those orange caps on the thing. It comes with red. It does come with red aluminum things, and they're on the optic right now with the aluminum caps. So I bought oranges and put them actually for the optic originally, and I just moved them over here. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done it. How you doing, Mir? Haven't seen you, bud. Nitro, what's happening? You gotta remember to watch that chat. I get kind of talking and forget about it. How you guys doing this evening? So other than like the custom interior, there's, I didn't make everything. Obviously, you got the DSM bed. I picked up the kind of flip it to this side. This is where all the business is at. So I built, as you can see, a mechanical box, essentially a safety mechanical box, single seat system. Let's see if I can get a good shot here. This is probably the best way to do it here is come into this window there as best as I can. Into the front. But yeah, anyways, see if we can get it. You can see kind of the side of it down there, the thing. Actually got some radio gear mounted to it. Hard to see in there. It's a little bit better to see it, but right on the inside of the box, you can kind of see the two dark spots right here. Get a little bit better light on them. But yeah, a couple radio panels on it. But yeah, this is where all the wiring goes at. So I actually run 2 batteries with it. A normal 3200 pack I can squeeze in here, or a 2200 pack. And then I've got a couple 450 milliamp Spectrum 2S or 3S packs. So, and that runs specifically just the lights. For lighting, it has dash lights, the headlights, of course, the tail lights up in the back underneath here, and then rock lights. And they are all controlled. The headlights and rear lights are on and off on its own switch, which has its own power system. And then the other switch is tied into that through the power system. And then it turns around and I can turn on and off the rock lights. The dash lights stay on 24/7 as long as the light battery is plugged in. But yeah, it's a tight fit. As you can tell, I custom bent the dash out of some diamond plate. Now this is maybe RC4 drive diamond plate. I don't quite remember. I do have some more. I don't know if I got the label for it. So it's a little bit, quite a bit thicker than what the black stuff was I used for the mud panels and dirt panels. But yeah, so I had to really kind of get it tweaked out and fit in there. That's why the receiver, you can see the backside of it sitting right here. It's usually pushed in there a little bit farther up out of the way. This is where I plug in the battery for the for the lights. And then, of course, the XT60 is the normal battery. Has a Reese 888 direct power. That's why you got the direct power burn off here. And I'm running the Holmes 2-in-1 3000, which I know some people have had some problems with heat. I haven't ran mine much yet to really get into it, but I know I have to soon. I do want to go to the local state run here in Michigan, Gauntlet, in September. Starts on my daughter's birthday, but I'm gonna go ahead and go this year, just because so close to my daughter's birthday. I've missed it a couple times, and I do want to make it before too long. But yeah, so I'm running the Reese 888 for the dig servo. I actually put a Holmes Hobby HV150 mini servo in here, and I also added a winch, as you can see with the winch line, which is the Reese 800 IS. Added that in there. Yeah, some drivers are hard. That's why I ended up looking around and use a little trick to fit in here. I did have to do a little tweaking on things. For instance, the back servo mount that comes with the Origin or the Optic. It's got the 3 positions that you can add servos in there. It's got 2 bolts that you can mount it to the to the center pieces of, or the side pieces of the center skid plate section, with 2 bolts on each side. But I had to actually slide that back so the front bolts are in the back hole, and it's only got 2 bolts in it, holding that all on there to put it into place. And then I added a little, modification kind of deal up front just to kind of help stiffen it, or in the back to help stiffen it all up. And it actually works, but I needed to gain a little bit of clearance to get the seat in there because I didn't want to have to chop his legs and all that. So the pan had to be the right length, the floor pan. had to accept, had to work around the pin here to accept the door and get the door locked in and not cause an issue with the door. That was a little bit more of an issue over here on the mechanical box on the back side, getting this backside trimmed out and cut out right so I could get that door pin in there and not cause the door to get kind of twinked a little bit. So yeah, it was quite a bit of work, a lot of effort. I got a whole bunch of pictures that I'm going to try to. I got them loaded up over at RC Crawler, I think, and if not, I'm going to completely go through here in the next couple of days, maybe in the next week, taking half an hour and go through and redo the whole thread and build it up. But rccrawler.com, if any of you are not aware, is a old school RC Crawler forum that's still alive and kicking. It doesn't have HTTPS security, but it's pretty good. There's really nobody's ever had any issues with bad stuff over there. So good forum to go to for old school crawler forum threads and everything like that. And there's quite a few people that's still active. So otherwise, I got some on the Facebook Origin page, official page. I've got a few pictures up in there of it. One of the other things I did add for the scale details is this 12-volt battery. I could have got the ones with the 3D printed ones, but I didn't want to do that. Let me see if you can get a little bit better picture. Right there, you can kind of see the top of it right here. But I bought one of the 12-volt batteries that actually displays voltage. So when I have that tied in actually to the voltage on the lights, because I'm running a radio link radio setup, I can get telemetry feedback on the rig and the transmitter's battery. So this is just strictly for the lights and scale, positioning on this battery, 12-volt, battery I got packed between the seats. It's just kind of set in there and pinched a little bit, but it adds a lot of scale detail. And then I can see if that battery is low. If I'm running the 450, I know it's going to be low quick, and I can see where it's at and always know, not have a worry about overdriving it and causing a problem somewhere. So yeah, that's a lot of the detail in there right now. It's going to be hard to see. Let me see if I can, let me try this. We can just kind of square it right in there. I'll have to hold this thing because it likes to kind of come up. Yeah, I really do like the Radio Link radio. It's really, really customizable with all the mixing. I just bought the RC8X, so I got that. I got it pretty much tweaked out, set up on this, but I haven't, like I said, really run and tweaked everything. I don't know if I can get it to clear up a little bit there. You can kind of see the battery in there a little bit better. Get John to give it a look and see if it actually will focus on his head and clean up or not. Who knows? Yeah, some of them are kind of tricky. Spectrum with the little binding plug, or any of them that use the binding plug, are a little tricky. Some of the other ones are kind of tricky. Fly Sky was pretty easy. As far as that goes, in Futavas were pretty easy to bind. I used Nomadios back in the day. I had a couple React. I actually still got the Reacts. They were pretty easy to bind. But yeah, the Radio Link's super easy to bind up. So you can see the dash, details. Let me actually spin it around and maybe come at it from this way. See if we can get a different angle. There you can see the radio on the sidewall. Actually, radio and gauges is what I got over there. Got a set of gauges right here. Then of course I have gauges here, and there's also a red start button. I got a red light in that one actually, but that way it's got a the start button, and then a couple dash gauges. As I say, the steering wheel moves. Had to bend all the aluminum there, and the 3D printed parts. This I bought from DSM, but the other dash pieces, the radio piece, I got a few other things. I don't know if I have them in this besides the Yeah, and I got another radio piece here, um, down in between the seats on the angle of my uh, transmission tunnel. There's with another kind of, that's where the headphones go. I don't have the headphones made up yet. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Yeah, this is one of those Japanese, one of the nicer quality Japanese dolls, I think. It wasn't bad, 35, $40. I got different heads without sunglasses. The two guns, this and the 12 gauge shotgun with the wood grain. The black one is actually from the Wraith, I think. This black rifle over there is from the Wraith kit, if I'm not mistaken, the bolt action. Of course, there's pistol there. But yeah, it looks just like them. He did a great job with the mold on the face. Like I say, I got another head here. I think another set of hands. Let's see. No, just another head. Good Roddy Piper look, man. Nada is, this is one of the higher end games. It may be Chinese, but I think Nada was Japanese, if I'm not mistaken. He's got the iron, just like that, the belt, shotgun. I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. That movie is a cult classic. It's funny, in 2014, I'm listening to some radio interview that Rowdy's on, and actually John Carpenter's on, and they're out there saying, yeah, They Live was actually a documentary. Looking around today, you gotta wonder, man. But I've always dug the movie and thought, hey, man, what a cool kind of throwback tribute. So I added the seat, had to modify the hell out of it to get it around the bar here. Added this. Oh yeah, I do have the when the crawling lights are on, I have a bar light for out in the woods there, up in front. That's what I hooked my winch to. Added the orange collars to the shocks. Trying to think of anything else I did custom in here. I say quite a bit, that dash. Hours wise, I probably only have 10, 12, maybe 13 hours, 15 max into the dash. But I had to look at it for a while and think, and how do I want to do that? And what will that look like? And so I think it turned out nice. I actually got another one. Sometime I'm going to tear apart the optic a little bit, throw it in there. Oh yeah, it's something you probably get a little better look at the tunnel ram. And that I got the two shifters here, one up here by the steering wheel. Let me get his gun arm out the way. Make you smell his pits. So let me do this. Let me just make it easy. Grab one of these 3S batteries. Because I don't even need to do anything for this. Just make sure I don't plug in the wrong polarity and burn shit. A little bit better look there. So you got the tube behind the steering wheel. Your gauge, your speedo and tack, and then you got a pressure gauge. I think down there is what the third one right up underneath those. This is kind of bright one here right underneath my finger right there. That's actually the red start button, but it's pretty bright and hard to see that it's red. They're nowhere near as bright as they look on camera. They're much more dim. It took me a few resistors to try to tweak with and get her set up. Then there's 3 other ones. I didn't light up the nav. This is a navigation screen from the Optic and Origin dashboard setup that you would just typically go to the plastic. Of course, I put the diamond plate over it. A bit heavy, a little bit. It's not bad. I haven't been able to weigh it because the one scale I have, it's heavier than that scale. So I can pull out my four-way Sky RC Bluetooth speaker weights and weigh it up. So yeah, all set up for the lights. And like I say, I can leave this set up somewhere. As it sits right now, the I do have to have everything powered up to get the lights or the battery 12 volt, quote unquote 12 volt, which actually it is. I'm running 3S battery, so okay, 12 volt battery to show the voltage. So I not can't do that, but yeah, I can plug it in and leave it sitting there on display with my dash lights on at the very least. You can see, oh yeah, some of the other things, details I did hose out the tanks. Now they just go down, the hose just kind of drops down behind there and is stuffed in out of the way. But at least up top, it looks like there's actually a blue and green hose running down and going back wherever it's supposed to go, up to your engine and to your intakes. Trying to think if there was anything else. Yeah, a little bit here. Of course, I went to Freak Skins and got the stickers, and now they're coming with the H10. Vanquish worked out a licensing deal with PSE, so they're actually doing PSE stickers that are licensed. These are from Freak Skins. I don't believe they are, but they may be. Let's see. I did add metal machined ends everywhere. The front, back, top, all the links. They all got metal machined ends. I will be driving this. Maybe not much, but I will be driving it. Let's see. Brass on the front, and I believe I put brass wheel weights in it in the front, just the normal centered in the rear. I do have a Knights 3D engine mounted up underneath here, and the next time I take it off, take the top, actually the cage off a bit, I got this pack here to put on it, which it sits up in there underneath that spot right there. Actually, I can put this in there, but it would sit right about up in there, somewhere on the inside underneath the hood. But you got to remove 4 screws, and I do have this light mounted to those screws, so it's a little trickier to do up. I've been debating on seeing if I can modify the RC4 drive hinges for the hood on the Blazers. See if I can get that set up, and then I could do something with maybe a couple magnet setups where I could actually hinge the front hood. Maybe we'll see about that mod. That might take a little more than I'm able to do on this platform with the way everything's set up. But if I can, I am going to try and make it happen. I'm trying to think of other stuff. Everything else is pretty standard. I mean, it comes with all the metal pieces as far as the third members, the drive shafts. You get still get centered gears in the transmission, so I'll probably be ended up, because it's a straightforward VRD transmission, probably ended up at some point buying the full metal gear upgrades and adding those to the transmission and getting that all set up. I'll go ahead and unplug and toss this battery aside. She's got plenty of juice, and we'll go ahead and put our doors back on now. Yeah, overall, lots of hours on build. Obviously, the whole interior, just kind of considering what I wanted to do and where I wanted to do it and how I wanted it to look, how detailed I wanted to get. And I wanted to stay pretty detailed. It's not like this is a, cheap knockoff, cheapy little, AliExpress buggy. So I wanted to kind of keep it higher end and go for it. I'm happy with the way it turned out. I've added, it's like I say, it's hard to see. Let's see if I can get in here and see if I can get some clarity on it. Yeah, you can see there. I got some color, green on this. Those are supposed to be screen, it's a radio. The radio setup, so it's supposed to have, green LEDs for your stationing and hertz and blah, blah, blah. So I got that. And of course, when I do get a set of headphones fashioned, I'm just going to put them up and get them hung somewhere up here. Maybe put a little thing here where they can kind of hang down off the side over top of the radio, just so they're hanging there, so they could be put on per se. I've seen a guy on eBay. I'm not sure what country he's from, but he's not from America, I don't believe. might be China, but he's done some small LED screens. And if you see that I've got a couple nice open areas here, I think right here, like I say, I broke this. You can see it's kind of moving there. Part of the reason it doesn't, shift too well. I'm going to kind of redo that. But yeah, that whole thing does move. Kind of hard to see how I got it all done out. I don't know if I can get in there. Yeah, I can. So once I get it a little bit better set up, so it's getting the move, but it's just not moving the shifter back and forth. And so I got to put a pivot point, a little bit of stuff in that pivot point to get that to tweak out better, so it actually gets in the place it needs to be. So there, you got some kind of scale detail on it. And of course, this is supposed to be a just a bunch of switches and lights. I don't have that lit up. I didn't worry about lighting that side up. And then, of course, the IS800's back here on the other side. I use a little carbon fiber adapter plate that helped, stiffen up the back servo plate, because I did take 2 mounting pieces away, and so it's, stiffer again. You can kind of see I've got this kind of cross piece in here. Hard to see, but with all the light in here, you think you'd be able to see that better. But there's the little cross piece in the back, plastic piece. I turned it around 180 degrees, and I'm using that to help support the back of the plate, just to add a little support to it. But yeah, overall, it was a hell of a time to build. I am going to add sticker sheets. I got to add my numbers to it yet. Once I don't know if I'm going to add. I'll probably add my number for the rig. May as well. I thought about doing, something else. My birthday, kid's birthday, anniversary, who knows? But no, I think I'll just do the one number 190. See if you can get a better look at it now. Yeah, a little bit better. Doesn't really want to focus. For this being a 4K camera, of course, it's only doing 728 because of the thing, but it seems like it should focus right here. And of course, that's They Live. I did it with the Michigan plate because I'm in Michigan. You can kind of see it says 190. Still a little blurry. I don't know why it's so blurry. Let me back up a little bit. Seems like it would get better, but it don't. So yeah, so let me pull out my scales. These are my scales. Give me a minute. I gotta bend over farther. What sports did I do with my scales here? I see the little puppies at. Yeah, okay. That's where I hit them at. Hey, Porzo, what's happening? So is it Porter's Stout or Porter's Tout? I gotta figure it's Porter Stout, like a stout porter beer. Let me take a peek. Grab these out, grab my phone. I think I'm gonna go grab a dirty cigarette. I kind of figured. I can't imagine anybody having a Porter's Tout. But hey, you know, to each his own. Right front, right rear, left front, left rear. Flip you over. I hide my phone right there. Let me get this up. Okay, I think it's in my RC gears. I believe that's going to be the scale. Yes, we can turn on Bluetooth. Add a category. Corner weight system. Add. Okay. Everything's reset. Let's see. All right, let's see. Okay, device offline. Maybe that's why we go ahead and fire them up. Let's see, can I enter? No, not yet. All right. Okay, maybe I won't be able to. Device offline. Password, no. Usually it's just. Go ahead and shut her off. Pop back open. Yeah, I can hear you there. But a good Pilsner is hard to beat. All right, this is going to be a pain in my ass because it's not doing what it should. Let me see. Managing network, Bluetooth, connect, Hobby Wing, connect. So it's connected. Let's see. Do that. Okay. I may end up having to go through this whole thing to. I had it working. Been a while since I've used it. Not over 6 months, I don't think. Maybe a little bit over 6 months. But it was all working then. Paired up and done. But this thing's updated 1 or 2 times since then. Let's see. No. No. Hmm. Okay, there we go. Available now. It's reading them. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Back. Let's put this with the balance scales. Now let's see if I can get it. Nope, still nothing. Well, it's being a pain. I'm definitely going to have to play with this a little bit. Privacy language. It's just privacy policy, so that ain't it. About check for update. Let's go ahead and do the reasonable. Okay, it doesn't even want to go in there. Q&A, usage. Go back. Feedback. All right, so there's one other way of doing this. We come in and we do a search. Let's go this way. RC gears. Go ahead and do an uninstall, and then we'll just reinstall. Okay. We'll try that. So, yeah. Pop around that. Take a little open. Open Sesame. No. At least update it. Allow. Add a category. Corner weight system. Thermo do a tire balancer tire. I do have a tire warmer, but I don't need to add that. Okay. Language policy about corner weight system. Yeah, I don't know why it won't let me log in. Oh, I did that time. Now let's see. Does it work? Yep. Bingo. Now we're cooking with some propane, Junior. Let's see. So I'm gonna move this back to where we were. Flippy spinny. wider, about like that. Yeah. Boom, boom. Okay. Don't want to add it onto the thing. So total weight, it's giving me 38.97. So let's come in here. Unit is in grams. Let's go to ounces. We'll go back. Ounces is 137.49 ounces. Let's do a little math. Here, I can do it on this. A little bit of math. 137.5 divided by 16 is 8.4. So just about 8.5 pounds without batteries. Let me go ahead and take this off because that really don't need to be on there. And for shits and grins, let me grab the 2 packs. That I can run for units, and the 2 packs I can run for this over here. So 134.5 ounces divided by 16 ounces per pound is 8.4 pounds. Now, if I'm running 4S in the mini pack for my lights, which is probably what I would mostly usually run. So let me get this out of the way. Now we're at 144 ounces, so about half a pound more. 137, yeah, 137.10 to 144 for 7 ounces, so half a pound. Or if I'm running 3S, I can get this 3200 CNHL 3S pack and this 2200 light pack. So for a night run, I can run 3S on the rig and then 3S on the battery pack, but get 2400 or 2200 milliamp battery life out of a night run, thereby really extending the amount of lights I have. And that combo is 148, so 10 grams, so 3/4 of a pound more for those 2 batteries. So yeah, it's set up for me to take full advantage of day or night running 3200 3S. The other pack here is a 1400 4S. I don't have room for just but one anywhere. It's a tight rig to do stuff around. Not a lot of real estate left over when it's done. So it is a little small, but yeah, for daylight and just to have like dash lights, essentially, I can run the small. I guess it's a 300 mAh. I can get some 450s. This is actually the battery I got with my little plane. I picked up one of the UMAX planes that I got. All right, go up here. So I do have a few options for batteries that I can stuff in there and get both batteries just in there. Now, what I did do actually on this one, yes, this one. So, oh, okay, that's right. That's 10 seconds behind me. So what I did here is this thing mounts like this. And as you see, it's got a battery. Well, originally, my thought was trim that battery off this, which I did, which is why it's got aluminum on the bottom, because I decided to glue it back on. And actually, I could slip this battery down inside, and I can do that right now. I can take this battery in the little slot that's up here and slip it down in there, and that can be where that battery sits up here out of the way. The other one's too wide to slip down in that slot, too wide lengthwise and or too long and too wide to fit in that slot. But I could fit both. I got two 300 batteries. I could build a little Y cable to double it up for 600 mAh and slip both of those in there without this in place. But at some point, I would like to go ahead and put that in place because even with the 4S battery, I can still get this or the bigger 300, so I can run 4S or bigger 2200 white battery pack. So I can run 4S on that. On the rig and 3S big pack on the lights for night. But I'm gonna go ahead and add that in, even though you're really never gonna see it unless I hinge the hood or have it off. But when it is off, it'll be there for scale shits and giggles. And I got another one, as you seen sitting over there. I'm gonna put this one in the optic. I do have an optic. After ordering this, actually, I think I ordered the optic and got it built. I ordered the kit and built that the fall of 2023. I've ran that a little bit more, and that one I built it straight out of the box. I added everything I was going to add to it straight out. I didn't kind of build it, then add stuff. I built it straight out. Let's probably do my next rig rundown. Kind of do them in reverse, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of shorten this one out. But yeah, so we're about 8.5 pounds, so it's not unreasonable. That's with battery full up RTR. There are, like I say, I'll be adding some stickers, some numbers, probably some sponsored stickers as well. I just started working with another company, just for work, which is good. Yeah, everything's solidified today. All right, let me see what's going on here. I'm going to mute this thing out for a second. All right, no emergency. So, anyways, yeah, did a lot of work to it. It's pretty much stock, except like say I added all the machine links on even the go ahead and shut these off. They can be turned off and put back away. But even on the steering links and the other links, I went ahead and added machine links to all of it. Oop, she turned back on. Yeah, you did too. This damn thing. That's right. I don't have to worry about it too much. I gotta shut this thing off first. Get that done. Move you here. Now I can shut these off when they start blinking. Gotta remember how to do it. I thought that was going to do it. All right, there we go. There we go. Let's see. It's still off. Still off. All right. I thought you had to push and hold the button, but I guess it's just a simple press. Turn them off. So yeah, 8.5 pounds, which is about what I figured. I figured if I was going to be under 10, I'd be happy. So 8.5, little bit of a pig. Not exactly going to go out and win any competitions with it, but it should do pretty well for the most part. And a little bit of testing I have done with it. It does do pretty well. Which is pretty much across the street in the ditch at this point. I've been wanting to grab it and take it with me. Just weather's not been great this spring, and I was way too busy last year. And by the time I got unbusy, weather was sucky. Did get a couple of snow picks. So there we go. I guess that's good time. It's been about an hour now. So yeah, the Vanquish H10 Origin. If you got a little bit of money to throw away, and even if you don't, if you really are into some crawler ICs, it is a very worthwhile purchase. It's a great build. Bit different than the Origin or from the Optic, from the chassis system skid plate and up. Kind of similar from there out. Would have been nice to see a few things. I'm not knocking anything, but it would have been nice to see maybe machine gears all the way through the tranny as opposed to some of the centered gears. Then you could have just added the light weights if you wanted to lighten some of the weight. And that's what I'll end up doing. I'll get the machine gears and the light weights, just kind of lighten it up a little bit, take some of the stress off the drivetrain. I still have to go in and actually go through and figure out, re-update the firmware. I did it once, and things in my testing did pretty good. It didn't get warm on the 2-in-1 Homes 3000 kV combo, but he's got new software, so I want to go ahead and get that on there. Everything else is good to go. I got the radio all programmed. Just now I got to get my lazy ass out and do some running, besides just snapping a few pics and taking videos. So yeah, there we go. H10 Optic from Vanquish Products. Get one if you can, because they are limited production. Sounds like they are winding down. So at any point, thanks for hanging out, gents and ladies. And if you catch this video later, appreciate you watching it then. Hit that share, that like, subscribe if you haven't. It all helps us. If you subscribe to me, I notice it, which I try to. I'll try to subscribe right back to your channel. Help everybody grow a little bit. Maybe we can all share in some of this big old YouTube advertising money that won't be here by the time we all get enough subscriptions. So anyways, guys, have a good night. I'm going to go find something to eat real quick and go from there. So we'll talk at you later.